putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. Let me tell you something that we as conservatives have been wanting for some time. Accountability. Accountability in government. So let me give you an example of where that accountability is needed to occur and how we've been, held hostage to some degree by these rogue legislators. By the way, KJRadio.com, or if you want to call the show, 844-551-8255. Sanctuary cities. Illegal. Illegal on their face. There is no way that a city can tell somebody who's illegal in this country, we will protect you over the rights of other citizens. And that is exactly what's been happening. This case, I don't know, was it in L.A.? Where this guy shot, he shot two deputies and killed them and hijacked a car. And his excuse was he was high on dope. But then when he got into court, he tried to get an insanity plea and try to, I'll kill more of them MFs and all these other things, and starts going bananas. And he's a crazy guy. Was it drug induced or whatever? I don't know, don't care. But here's what's interesting. He had been deported, came back over, deported again, drug issues, drug charges, not a solid citizen. Now, there was a lot of news coverage about this guy prior to all the other stuff that's come up where we know that the Democrats are now, number one, using Dreamers because they want votes. We also know that they tried to cheat Donald Trump out of the election. They used the office of the FBI, the NSA, to spy on Trump. They used the FISA courts, so they got the legislators, the judicial involved, and on and on. And so it takes a little bit of the steam out of the fact that some crazed illegal who's been back and forth over here because of our porous borders and the fact that we don't have a wall, and he killed two law enforcement officers. By the way, plug for Bleeding Blue, my movie. We're lining up people who are willing to do a showing for us. I'm going to tell you right now, it'll cost you between $1,000 and $1,500 if you want to do a showing. I'll help you promote it. Well, I hope I can get some folks up in Oregon to do it. Hope I can get some folks up in Utah, wherever we're got the show. St. Louis, many others. Sign up. Get on these. We'll get the website isn't up to date right now, but it will be literally in a couple days. And you can go there, sign up, tell us you want to do a showing. So we're doing a big fundraiser for it here in a few days, actually. But that movie becomes more important when you see stories like this. The left don't even care. They don't care that this guy killed two law enforcement officers, hijacked somebody's vehicle, and had committed all other kinds of crime. Dope crimes, you name it. He's got a rap sheet now for sure. He's in court laughing at us. In a sanctuary state. Probably a sanctuary city. There is no such thing. California's top elected official, Jerry Brown, Moonbeam, is nothing more than a common criminal because I'll ask you this. Here's a scenario. See, in America, we're taught to help people, even in the People's Republic of California. So I want you to imagine if a man comes to your doorstep, he's hungry and he's disheveled, possibly homeless. You don't know. You're just looking at him. He's a mess. Your humanity kicks in because that's what it does for all of us. So you say, you know what? I don't have a whole lot to offer, but I'll give you some leftovers from the family dinner. I'm going to give you a blanket to keep warm. Guy seems harmless. So you extend your hospitality even further. You say, you know what? Why don't you sleep in the garage just for the night? And that's when things go bad. Because your neighbor recognizes the guy. And as it turns out, he's a fugitive, wanted for the murder of a young girl. So it was a bad idea that you let the guy stay there, right? Could have killed your family, could have killed your daughter. But again, you're a leftist. You're a humanitarian. You want to help. Your neighbor calls the police, who shortly thereafter show up and they arrest this wanted criminal, this fugitive. But now, guess what? You're in hot water. Yeah, you've aided and abetted a criminal. And that's what you're charged with. Now, too bad you're not a Clinton. You might get away with it. But when you meet with the district attorney, you tell him, look, I didn't know this guy was was a criminal. I thought he was a homeless beggar. And he explains the old legal axiom, and I'm sure you've heard it. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. And now here's the twist. That's the same scenario that you could describe for us with these so-called sanctuary cities, because America's cities are overrun at times with illegals doing what? Knocking at the door, metaphorically. Certainly, most are just hungry, cold, and wet. But some of them carry a little bit more baggage. They're hardened criminals, murderers, rapists. And the statistics bear it out. And leftists know far too often that illegal immigrants commit serious crimes like robbery, rape, and murder. They know this. But some states and municipalities aid and abet these criminals, even offering them housing, medical care, cell phones. Can you imagine if you had in your garage a person who killed somebody's daughter, a fugitive from justice, not that he's got to run in a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state, and you're required to feed him, house him, give him a cell phone and pay the bill, and maybe even provide transportation. Some states even give these people voter registration cards. There was a story that they are doing voter registration drives in America for Mexicans. I've seen this story. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. But the real reason they want them here, the real reason they're registering these people is not because they want to help them. It's because they want their vote. And our government creates the very rules that would get you locked up that they won't even follow. San Francisco pays their criminals outrageous sums of money because of some loophole in the law. There was a guy that got turned over to ICE, illegal, and he got $300,000 because of some crazy ordinance in San Francisco that says, no, he should get some money. How many taxpayers paid that money? What could have happened? What could have been done with that money that would have been productive? So President Trump, he starts cracking down on these sanctuary cities. Day one. His passion for this issue came up when Kate Steinle got killed, and he was like, look, we got to do something. And a year after his election, California proves leftism is alive and well when they let her killer go free. So now Trump says, look, we got to start doing, we got to make a difference. We got to hold politicians accountable. When they fail to obey the very laws set to protect our country, something's got to happen. And Jerry Brown, hopefully this spells trouble for him. There was an interview on Fox News with ICE Director Thomas Horman, and he declared, it's time to start arresting politicians in sanctuary cities and charging them with crimes. I 100% agree. They are daring us to do it. Neil Cavuto was the show that Holman was on. And these cities don't even cooperate with immigration at all. And he went on to talk about, well, it's a violation of, 8 section does that and the other, which they call it the alien smuggling statute. And he says, I've asked the Department of Justice to look into this. Can we hold them accountable? Are they violating federal law? And then he got pressed by Cavuto. He says, what do you do if the Justice Department says the law is being violated? Holman suggested that politicians be held personally accountable. He went on to say this. We've got to take these sanctuary cities on. We've got to take them to court. We got to start charging some of these politicians with crimes. He says these sanctuary cities are un-American. And according to Holman in the conversation that he was having with Cavuto, I'm thinking Jerry Brown should be the perfect poster boy for saying enough is enough. Brown in October signed a bill to make California the nation's first sanctuary state. Went into effect on January 1. Says bars law enforcement officers in the state from arresting individuals based on civil immigration warrants, asking about a person's immigration status, or participating in a joint task force with federal officials for the purpose of enforcing immigration laws. State of California better hold on tight, Cavuto said. More citizens are going to die because of these policies. And when they say that the governor and the mayors and any legislators who allow this to happen are the ones who are going to be held accountable, you're going to watch this. Suddenly, everybody's going to go, well, no, we can't be doing that. What is the logic behind this? It's like James Wood said the other day. What kind of logic where we're having to fight to obey the very laws of the land? And these are not slavery or whatever. This is common sense legislation. Anyway, I'm going to have to leave it there, but we had a heck of a day. Boy, I tell you, it's going to be nothing but good news this week. You guys hang in there. I promise you, stay calm. You're going to love it this week.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.